So good morning one and all. So we'll take one topology. So here totally 5 routers are connected, R1, R2, R3, R4, R5. So 5 routers are connected here. So now here one of the router in question paper they'll ask you to do static routing on any one of the router. Or suppose they'll tell do static routing, configure static routing on appropriate router, like that questions will come. So for example, if we assume I am going to configure static routing on R3 router, this router, then how we are going to do, we'll see. So first I am going to give a IPs for this serial links. So now I assigned IPs for the serial links. Start with R1. So 1.0.0.1, this side 1.0.0.2, here 2.0.0.1, 2.0.0.2, this is 3.0.0.1, here 3.0.0.2, 4.0.0.1, 4.0.0.2. So here I assigned on my own. Sometimes in question paper they'll give the network ID. For example, here for this link 4.0.0.0, like that network ID they will give. If they given for this particular link 4.0.0.0, then you have to take one side of this link is 4.0.0.1 and another side of this link is 4.0.0.2. Like that you have to take according to the values whichever is given in the question. Okay. Now as I told you, I am going to configure static routing on this R3 router. Now first what we need to do, what we need to check is R3 router having how many serial links, that we have to see. So how many serial links are connected with R3 directly? This one, and this one. So totally 3 links are there, which means 3 next hop will come. Then how many router apart from R3, how many routers are there? R2 is there, R1 is there, R4 is there, R5 is there. So totally 4 routers are there. Just imagine these 4 routers are having its own networks. For example, under this R5, we have a network, one network. Under this R4 also we have a network. Under this R2 also we have a network. Network means which means it is connected with the switch and PC or a server. Suppose here if you take server, here server is connected. So this is one network and this is one network. This is one network, like that. So here also we have a network, that is switch and end device. If end device is not there, end device means PC, server, laptop. If that is not there, then that is not been considered as a network. Okay. If this is connected, then only this is a network. So now R5 has its own network, R4 has its own network, R2 has its own network, R1 has its own network. So from R3, here only we are going to do static routing. So how many networks are there here? Totally 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 routers I told you, no? R1, R2, R4 and R5. All these 4 routers having its own network. So for this 4 network, we need to assign the routes in this R3. On this R3, we have to assign the static routes for this 4 networks. So we'll see the general command for static routing. So first line, see the first line for static routing. The command is, it should be in global configuration mode, that is R of config. This R may be, if you are doing in R3, put R3, R2 means R2, R1 means R1, like that. So generally I have represented here R. So I am in global configuration mode. The command is IP space route space net ID you have to give. This is a general form I have given here. You have to give the network ID, network address, then subnet mask, then next hop. Okay. What is the command? IP space route space net ID subnet mask next hop. Okay. So totally how many networks we need to assign the route for how many networks here? 4 networks. This is the first one, this is the second one, this is the third one, and this is the fourth one. Okay. So now I will write network ID for the first one. If the network ID is 192.168.1.0, this is net ID, not the IP. This is a net ID. So this is the net ID of first network under R1 router. And if suppose this is the second net ID under R2, and this is the third network address under R4, and this is the fourth network address under R5. Okay, this is not a IP address, this is the net address, network address, remember. Okay, 4 network address, so 4 networks are there. So for these 4 networks, we have to assign the routes on this R3 router. Okay, so how we can assign IP space route space, this address you have to type first, this address. Which one? 192.168.1.0, that you have to type here. After that 255.255.255.0. Then what is the next hop? From R3 to reach this 192.168.1.0, to reach this network from R3, what is the way? Way is this side. This side is the route to reach this network, right? So from R3, next stop is 2.0.0.1. 2.0.0.1. Okay. Right? Then the command is, shall I write the command here? IP route 192.168.1.0 255.255.255.0, and next hop is, what is the next hop? 2.0.0.2. Sorry, 1. 2.0.0.1. So IP space route space 192.168.1.0 255.255.255.0. From R3 to reach this network, next hop is this one. That you have to write. Similarly, from R3 to reach 200.1.1.0 to reach this network, next stop is this only, same. From R3 to reach this network, what is the command? IP space route space 172.16.1.0 space 255.255.255.0. Next hop is 3.0.0.2. From R3 to reach this network, this is the way. This is the route. Next stop is this one. And from R3 to reach 182.168.1.0 network, to reach this network, next hop is 4.0.0.2. So that's it. Static routing is done. We have done on R3. Okay. Then now next one, default routing we have to do remaining routers, on the remaining routers. R3 we did static routing. Now default routing you have to do on the remaining 4 routers, R1, R2, R4 and R5. So what is the command? Just see, for default routing, command is You should be in global configuration mode. The command is IP space route space 0.0.0.0 space next hop. It is easy. Okay. For example, now I am doing default routing on R1. What I need to type, what I need to write? IP space, 1 second, I'll write here. IP space route space 0.0.0.0 says 0.0.0.0. From R1, just see, with R1 only one link is connected. Only one serial link is connected, no other links. This you leave it. This fast Ethernet, this gigabit Ethernet cable, you leave it. Just see only the serial links. How many serial links are connected with R1? Only one, which means next hop for R1, it is only one possibility, that is 1.0.0.2. So that you have to write here, 1.0.0.2. Okay. That's it. This one line command is enough. Now, if you type this line command in R1, it is enough for default routing. Then come to R2. With R2, how many links are connected? This side one link is there, this side one link is there, correct? So for this side link also you have to type one line command, that is IP space route space 0.0.0.0.0.0. Next hop is 2.0.0.2. This side is done. Now come to this side. One more line command you have to type on R2, that is IP space route space 0.0.0.0.0.0. Next hop is 1.0.0.1. Understood? Because two serial links are connected with R2. So for both the sides you have to write this command. Okay. Only you have to change the next hop. For this side, next hop is 2.0.0.2. For this side, you have to type 1.0.0.1. Okay. Now come to R4. With R4, how many serial links are connected? Only one. So one line command is enough. What is that command? IP space route space 0.0.0.0, 0.0.0.0. Next hop is 3.0.0.1. That's it. Now come to R5. With R5 also only one serial link is connected. So one line command is enough. So what is the command? IP space route space 0.0.0.0, 0.0.0.0. Next hop is 4.0.0.1. So you are doing default routing on R5. Then next hop will be opposite side to R5. Okay. That is the next hop. Don't write this value. 4.0.0.2 is wrong because that interface is connected with R5. Next to hop is the link which is connected with R3. That link IP address you have to give. Okay. I hope you can do static routing and default routing in this way. So next case we'll see, for example, suppose if they ask you to do static routing on this R2, how we will do? On this R2, if they are asking you to do, then how you will do? So which are the remote networks? First we have to calculate how many remote networks are there from R2. So under this R2, one network is connected, that is 200.1.1.1.0. This network is not a remote network. This is its own network. Okay. Because it is connected under R2 only. Okay. Then how many networks are remote networks from R2? 1. That is 192.168.1.0. Then second one. First one is this one. Then second one 172.16.1.0. Then third one 182.168.1.0. Then how many remote networks are there from R2? 1, 2, 3. So for these 3 networks you have to write command. Okay. What is the first command for this network? What is the first command? Shall I write? Here I'll write. If you are doing static routing on this R2, that time the command is IP space route space 192.168.1.0 255.255.255.0. Then to reach this network, next stop we need to write no here. To reach this network from R2, what is the way? This is the way. This is the route. This is the route. Okay. Then next stop from this R2, what is the next stop? 1.0.0.1. This is the next hop, right? Then write that IP, next to hop IP, that is 1.0.0.1. Okay, done, right? Similarly, from R2 to reach this network, 172.16.1.0, to reach this network, how can I write the route? IP space route space 172.16.1.0 255. This you write it as same. Even for class A, class B, class C, please write 255.255.0 only. No issue. Then you will get the output clearly without any failed messages. Okay. Then to reach this network 172.16.1.0, to reach this network from R2, what is the next hop? Next hop is this one, 2.0.0.2. Am I right? So right here, next hop is 2.0.0.2. Done. Similarly, one more network is there. This is the third network. So to reach this network, what is the route from R2? Same route only. It is coming through this link only, correct? No. So next stop also same, 2.0.0.2 only. So what I need to change here, this IP, route, everything is same. 255, that is also same. And next stop also same. Only I need to change net ID, that is 182.168.1.0. That's it. Okay, I hope you understood. For second case also I took for R3, now I am explaining for R2. In this way, they will ask you to configure static routing on any of the router. Okay. So according to the router, next hop will change, and according to the router, its own network will change. For example, first case, when we discussed configuration of static routing on R3 does here, according to this topology, R3 don't have any own network. Am I right or not? Suppose if I connect, for example, see here, if I connect a wireless router with this, some wireless router, just imagine this is a wireless router, then so with this wireless router, PCs are connected. So wireless medium, PCs are connected like this, okay. Now this one, this link is actually gigabit Ethernet link. This is not a serial link, right? So this network is actually its own network, R3's network, R3 router's network. So for this, we no need to do static routing. How we have not done for here, for R2, when you are doing static routing on R2, you have not given you are not giving a static route for 200.1.1.0, correct? No, because this network is connected directly with this R2. That's why here in command, we have given only 192, 172 and 182, not 200, because 200 is directly connected with R2. Similarly, this network is directly connected to R3. So for this, no need to give. If you are doing static routing on R3, okay, fine. Suppose, yeah, done. This is correct. To reach this network, again, if you are doing static routing on R2, again you have to do, suppose this network is, for example, this network is 20.1.1.0 network, for example, I'm telling. Then you have to give, if you are doing static routing on R2, then you have to assign the route for the new network, wireless network also. The command is IP space route space 20.1.1.0 space 255.255.255. Next hop also same. See this, from R2 to reach this network, next hop is this only, no? That's it. Okay. I hope you can understand and try this for different topologies, and consider here R2 and R3 only I consider. R2 and R3 only I consider. You just consider R4 as your static router and configure on R5, configure on R1. Like that you just practice, then you will get a better idea. Next we will discuss ACL. So one more thing you remember, on one router we are doing static routing, right? So other than that router, remaining routers are there, no? On remaining routers you have to do default routing, remember. Here I did, on this R2 I did static routing. Now you have to do default routing on this R1, default routing on this R4, default routing on this R3. Similarly, default routing you have to do on this R5, okay? Remember, one router we are doing static routing. Other than that, we are doing default routing. Static routing means net ID, subnet mask, next hop. Default routing means 0000000 next hop. Okay.